This is On the Sidelines with Box 13.
All right, welcome back into another edition of the On the Sidelines podcast. I'm your host, Ethan McReynolds, here as always with my partner in crime, D-Jack Dante Jackson. D-Jack, this podcast is pretty cool because we just get to come on here and we just get to yap about the Seattle Seahawks, arguably the best team in the National Football League right now.
I don't think it's an argument.
And arguably the best team, it could be one of the best teams in team history.
We got to wait on that. Slow down, cousin. Slow down.
Come on, let me get excited.
Hey,
let me
come
get
on.
excited.
You got to go ahead and seal a deal. You got to go get that chip first before you consider it even to be the best in Seahawks history.
But
right?
they are making quite the argument. They're making quite the statement.
I love what I see.
Just an absolute boat race of the Atlanta Falcons, 37-9. You called that last week. They haven't allowed a touchdown in 2 full NFL games.
Yes.
Look, granted, 2 offenses without their starting quarterbacks, 2 subpar teams that you should be dominating. But to not allow a touchdown in 2 full NFL games, 8 quarters, 8 turnovers in 8 NFL quarters.
Yes.
That is absolutely spectacular.
I can't hold the excitement. Like you did what you were supposed to do. Like people will talk about, you had backup quarterbacks. And guess what? I don't want to fast forward, but next week we might be doing some gram slamming. Yes, that is a term, y'all. Grandpa, and Phillip Rivers, it will be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. I love the way the schedule is kind of falling in place for the Seahawks. It was thought that the Seahawks had one of the tougher schedules left out of all the front-running teams. Mm-hmm. Well, we get to see Phillip Rivers 6 seasons away, from his last game, all right? Now, I don't want to count my chickens, but Phillip Rivers, you in trouble, bro.
1, 2, 3,
you
4,
in trouble.
5. Yeah, we can count all the chickens.
You in trouble.
The weather's going to play a big part in that game. We're definitely going to talk about it. But, yeah, Phillip Rivers supposedly is coming into play the hottest defense in the entire league.
Yes.
9 points allowed in the last 2 games. And we're talking about the defense. You got to start with Nick Emmanwori.
Yes.
He is a budding superstar, just in his rookie season, has a very good case to win defensive player, defensive rookie of the year. We talk about Star Watch. Nick Emmanwori, right up there on that list, and courtesy to our friend Corbin Smith of Emerald City Spectrum, go check him out. Nick Emmanwori, the second player ever in the history of the NFL to have a tackle for a loss, a sack, an interception, and a blocked field goal, all in the same game.
Yes.
Only other player, Leonard Williams, last season, 2 Seahawks, the 2 only players to do that ever in the history of the NFL. Nick Emmanwori with an absolutely spectacular game. How often do you see, Nick Emmanwori back in coverage, Devon Witherspoon with a great pass breakup to get Emmanwori the interception on the tip, and then, the next drive or whenever it was, he's flying down the C gap to just go blow up a run from one of the best running backs in the league, Bijan Robinson. Getting him for a 3-yard loss. You just don't see that.
Yes, the guy is a virtual what they call it, Swiss Army knife.
Yeah,
he can do it all, and this was the vision. This was the vision of John Schneider and also Mike McDonald when they drafted Nick Emmanwori. They told us this guy can do everything. He was off the charts in all the testing at the combine, but like we talked about before, usually those kind of athletes don't translate to the field. Emmanwori has translated that athleticism, that size, that want to. He's translated to the football field, and he has to be the front runner for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he might be in the running for All-Pro.
Yeah, he's been absolutely incredible. It's really unfortunate that he hasn't been able to play a full season. He missed so much time due to injury, and I feel like if he had played a full season, he would be the odds-on favorite for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Browns line, what was his name? Carson Schwessinger.
Yes,
is the odds-on.
And he's
favorite.
having a good season.
He's having a very good season on a very good defense as well. We should point out the Browns are one of the elite defenses in the league. But
winning has to mean something.
Winning has to mean
the Browns.
Something.
They're the Browns,
but that is mostly because of the offense. To be fair,
it's a team effort. All right,
yeah.
He's part of the Browns. So all I'm saying is the Seahawks right now are one of the best teams in the NFL, And if you look at the odds, they're one of the favorites for the championship. Now, and I always talk about this is the show of champions, Ethan. And what's my recipe for a championship? All right, unlikely contributions. Nick Emmanwori, a rookie. You got Ty Okada, a backup coming off, spelling Julian Love when he was hurt. Okay, you have history. All right, haven't had a 100-yard rusher in 22 games. All right, so the defense is historic. You had Nick Emmanwori make history last week with the interception, the field goal block, and all that stuff. So, and then you have your stars being stars. JSN scoring 2 touchdowns, still on pace for 2,000 yards receiving, the top receiver in the league. And Sam Darnold, the quarterback, he's playing fantastic. So you have your stars being stars, you have your unlikely contributions, and you have your history. That is the recipe for a championship team. Go Hawks.
The Hawks have it. And you could even throw JSN into that unlikely contributor category as well, with just the echelon of receiver that he has turned into. I mean, throw in Sam Darnold. I mean, he's arguably a top 5 quarterback in the league right now.
I agree.
So, I mean, he still has a little bit to prove against some pretty good defenses down the stretch. But he's knocking that on that door. Even with the turnovers, Sam Darnold absolutely statistically is a top 10 quarterback, and I think he can break into that top 5 by the end of the year. I want to talk about Devon Witherspoon. I know people get in a tizzy, lack of a better term, when this defense is compared to the Legion of Boom. And
LOB.
I get it. This defense is totally different, very unique in the brand of ball that they're playing. But the Legion of Boom, at least in my fandom, is the only thing that I have seen of elite defense, watching every single week, every single snap. This defense has so many shades of that, and it's so hard to ignore the similarities. And the play that I wanted to talk about was Spoon finally getting rewarded with an interception.
Yes.
Comes down, totally blows up a screen, playing close to the line of scrimmage. And we talked about versatility in the offseason. First of all, let's go back to Nick Emmanwori and just the absolute luxury that the Seahawks have to be able to put Nick Emmanwori in their nickel package and to have that defensive set be able to come up against any heavy personnel, and you're not sacrificing much in the run game. We saw how big of a body Nick Emmanwori is, lining him up in the box, and he's still able to hold his own. And then, against smaller personnel, you're not sacrificing anything in coverage either. So the Seahawks defense can go out there, run their big nickel package, put Nick Emmanwori out there with their 5 defensive backs, and dictate what the offense is going to do. They're not like, okay, what personnel is the offense going to run out, and then we're going to adjust. They are on their terms. This Seahawks defense is on their terms. So that is awesome what Nick Emmanwori brings. Devon Witherspoon, you can play him on the outside, you can play him on the inside. He can disguise a blitz like he was doing on that screen. That screen specifically disguises a blitz, looks like he's going to come. Kirk Cousins checks to a screen, throwing it into the vacated space where he doesn't think Devon Witherspoon's going to be there. Oh, actually, Witherspoon is there because they're just disguising the blitz, blows up the block, blows up the whole play. Ball finds energy is what they like to say.
Yes.
Ball comes right into Devon Witherspoon's hand. This defense, blowing up those screens and those types of plays, like just the play is just dead from second one. That is the type of stuff that we saw in 2013, 2014, 2015 with the Legion of Boom, and that is what we are seeing with this defense. It is the calling card to, I feel like, a dominant, elite defense, and the Seahawks have it here in
let
Seattle.
Me add something to that play you're talking about in particular, because one of the little things in that play was Derek Hall.
Absolutely.
Derek Hall, you had Witherspoon break up the play. Derek Hall stepped towards the quarterback to put a rush. When he realized it was a screen, he doubled back. And guess what Derek Hall got? He got a deflection to keep the ball in the air after Witherspoon got the first deflection, which allowed Witherspoon to intercept the ball. So you want those players rallying to the ball. That's a dominant defense also. When they rally, you get multiple efforts. You get multiple people rallying to the ball, all right? That's when you get those turnovers. That's when they go your way, when you get all of those football players around the football and they can go the other way with that.
Yeah, I mean, screen recognition. I mean, that was one of the things that the LOB defenses were best at. And that's something that defenses under Pete, at the tail end of Pete Carroll's tenure, the past 5 years before last year, something they really struggled with. And so to see them excel there, I mean, that's been a breath of fresh air.
And it was an interesting point, and I have to give it credit. This is not my point. It's one of our followers on Instagram said this. The only difference between this defense and LOB, I mean, it's a lot of differences if you ask me, because that was a historic defense. This defense has yet to seal the deal. Mm-hmm. They're on the path, the arc to be a great defense, okay? But he said the nicknames. They said the nicknames, they don't have that personality, and Terry talked about it last week, and they don't have the nicknames. So with that being said, I mean, Emmanwori, I think after his play this year, he definitely deserves a nickname. Go ahead and make sure you guys go to our Instagram, and we have to find a nickname for this defense and some of their key players.
Yeah, let's turn over to the offense. I want to talk about Sam Darnold. A tough first half. He had that was a bad interception that he threw to start the second quarter. But what I really liked is after the interception, he wasn't playing scared or playing timid. He was slinging it all over the yard. I mean, he didn't seem fazed at all. And when you hear Mike McDonald talk about it, he wants Sam to fail aggressively. He wants him to stay aggressive, and he wants him to keep slinging it. You saw that. I mean, he's really bought in, and Sam having confidence after that mistake, it shows, the backing from this coaching staff and how much they truly believe in him, and the backing from this entire team. You go back to Ernest Jones and his comments after that Rams loss and the 4-interception performance, quite frankly, F you if you're not rocking with Sam. I mean, those are some strong words from a defensive leader. I mean, it's really easy to just be like, the defense played their butts off. It'd be really easy to just be like, 4 interceptions. Like, man, we should have won that game. We did our part. Nope, Ernest Jones, Sam's had our back this entire year. Sam is playing with that sort of confidence. You can see it on the field. Like, he didn't get scared after that interception, and he hears the noise. Yes. I mean, he knows, the interceptions and the sacks are a problem. So for him to go out, bounce back, and have an incredible second half, I thought that was an incredible sign, because you can live with one interception in a game. It's to where it starts to compound and really start to affect the rest of the game off of that one turnover. That's where it becomes a problem.
Yes, and by all accounts, I mean, this team is not getting away from LOB. They cast a huge shadow, but that was one of the downfalls of LOB, is thinking that they were just as important as the offense and Russell Wilson, one of the best players in franchise history. They wanted to be treated like a quarterback, and it caused a rift in that team, and I think that was the downfall of that group together. It was some jealousy going on there by all accounts, and even the reporting. So this team seems more together, I would say. And Ernest Jones spoke to that fact when he had Sam Darnold's back. Now, Sam must limit the mistakes. We've been saying it all season. And for anybody that wants to balk at us being critical of Sam, I think it's warranted that we are, because you want that confidence. You want that confidence that Sam can go against the Rams or some of the top teams in the NFL. Not Atlanta. Atlanta is not the test, okay? Atlanta is not the expectation. We expect them to boat race the Falcons, all right? But you want to have that confidence level that they can beat the top teams, because it is championship or bust for this team. The standard is the standard, and that's a championship.
Yeah, I think the roses for Sam are totally warranted, but I also think the criticism is warranted as well.
Yes.
I mean, the biggest test of the year, he had 4 interceptions, so he still needs to prove that he can handle the big game situation. He's got the opportunity to do it. Just over a week from today when we're recording this podcast.
Right.
The other thing that I wanted to touch on before we start talking about the Colts. Sam used his legs a lot more.
Yeah, use your legs,
in the
Sam.
second half. Yeah, I wanted to shout you out because you've been screaming from the rooftops
all year long.
Yeah, so a great on Sam. I mean, he's an athletic dude. Throwing on the run. I feel like when throws aren't there, he can start to use his legs a little bit more, and that's something that we can see.
And I think he can unlock another part of his game, and it will actually slow down the pass rush. That's the thing about it, is that's why I say use your legs, Sam. I don't want him running all over the place like, Lamar Jackson or any of these other quarterbacks. I just want him to be smart, use his mobility. He's an athletic quarterback. He's nice. He's big. He's strong. He can run that ball, and it will slow down this pass rush. Atlanta was getting after him in that first half. I mean, let's call it what it is. And I thought he could slow down that pass rush by tucking the ball and running. So, and then you get back to focusing on the passing game with JSN. And I also want to highlight Shaheed also.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I love the way, and I'm not even talking about the kickoff return. We love that. We knew he can do that. But it seems like they incorporated him more in the passing game when it was slow for JSN. When the defense was focusing on JSN, Shaheed showed up and had a couple nice catches, some big chunk yardage plays, and I think that's what the Seahawks need. That's what you want to see when you project this team forward and see if they can be one of the better teams in the league. You want to see a Shaheed get incorporated into the passing game. You want to see the run game pick it up a little bit more, and that way they can't focus on JSN. And when they do try to guard the rest of the team or defend the rest of the team, that's when JSN pops up with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Seahawks now host the Indianapolis Colts, and it's going to be 44-year-old Grandpa Phillip Rivers starting quarterback. He's a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame. If he actually plays, that pushes back his Hall of Fame candidacy a half decade.
5 more years.
I mean, absolutely, it's a crazy story.
Well, Shane Steichen has came out and said it's official. He will start against the Seahawks. That is news, breaking news right here on the sideline. Yeah, he will start against the Seahawks, and I'm gonna just say this: good luck.
I mean, he's coming in to play the hottest defense in the entire league.
You in trouble, bro.
Now, I will say, the weather is going to play a factor at Lumen Field. So let's get into our Star Watch really quick. You have Devon Witherspoon as your Star Watch going against Phillip Rivers. What are you seeing?
I just see Nick Emmanwori kind of like, Devon Witherspoon pushing him. He's getting a little spicy. He's getting that attention. He's kind of inspiring him. The young fella inspiring him, I think. And Devon Witherspoon saying, "Hold my beer. I can do this too." You saw it last week. So I think there is some healthy competition on that defense to see who can make a play, and it's a beautiful thing. That's what you want.
Yeah, for me, I'm going Sam Darnold, and it's not as much of a pick to click because of the weather. It's more of my full focus will be on him. The spotlight will be on him for me because of the weather. And what I'm looking for is do not be the story on Monday, Sam. Do not turn the ball over. Take care of the ball, because the only way that this is a ball game, if you start losing the turnover battle and you keep the Colts in it with their running game with Jonathan Taylor. So yes. I'm looking at Sam Darnold. Take control of the ball, take care of business, and this should be an easy Seahawks victory. But the only way, specifically with the weather, fumbles have been a problem in Sam Darnold's career.
Yes.
Do not be the story come Monday when we're talking about this game on Sunday.
I think Sam Darnold has turned the corner. I think that 4-interception game against the Rams, you saw the Seahawks kind of tampered down the playbook that next game where they kind of leaned on the defense. Now I think they're turning the corner and relying on Sam. I think you'll see Sam play well. I think the defense just needs to stop Jonathan Taylor. He was in the running for MVP at the beginning of the season, probably Offensive Player of the Year right along with JSN. He's been great this year. They haven't allowed, we talked about it, they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 22 games. So I expect more of the same, the Seahawks defense to stop Taylor. And I don't think it'll be a game where the Seahawks pull away as they did against the Falcons. I think it will be a closer game because Phillip Rivers is a veteran quarterback, kind of similar to Kirk Cousins, who I thought played well in the first half of that Atlanta game. But can Phillip Rivers play a complete game and stay healthy for a complete game against the Seahawks? I don't think so. Look for him to get knocked out of that game and the Seahawks to win.
Well, and the Colts are very good in their rush defense. We know the Seahawks try to ground and pound the ball, so that'll be an interesting matchup there. Let's move on to our update our pick standings really quick. We didn't get to this last week. And Dante, 3-0 week this past week. You were 3-0 the last week as well, so you have won you've gotten 6 straight picks right. I went 2-1 on the week. Let's see. So you are 7.5 games back.
Oh, money line.
I'm sorry.
Hey, money line McReynolds. He had to highlight that, right? Okay. All right.
Okay. Austin and Will Ortner are tied at 24-18. They are 6 games back of the lead. I'm trying to close this thing out.
Yes.
I'm trying to close this thing
out.
Hey,
you got it, bro. You got it. I'm happy for you, man.
There's still a lot of football. There's still a lot of football to be played.
You got it, man.
I appreciate that, DJ. I appreciate the support. Let's go with your picks first, Dante. You got the Seahawks over the Colts. We just talked about that game. You got the Texans over the lowly Cardinals, and then your underdog, the Cleveland Browns at the Chicago Bears. What are you thinking there?
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Shedeur Sanders. He almost threw for 400 yards. He had 4 touchdowns last week.
That. Okay.
I think Shedeur Sanders is kind of the leader on this team. He got this team playing well. They have a great defense. We know that. If they can, this will be, I think, his 3rd start. Mm-hmm. So he's getting comfortable in his position. Look for the Cleveland Browns to upset the Chicago Bears this week.
Well, and I'm not a Chicago Bears believer yet. So
and that's another thing too.
They got that elite.
That's another
defense.
thing too.
The Browns have that elite defense as well.
Yes.
Actually, we'll go over to Will Ortner because he's picking the Bears over the Browns.
Okay.
Will Ortner of Chat Sports. He also has your pick, the Texans over the Cardinals, and then his underdog, the LA Chargers, fresh off that big Monday night win over the Eagles at the Kansas City Chiefs. Austin also has the same underdog, the Chargers at the Chiefs. He's also got the Texans against the Cardinals, and then he also has the Jaguars at home against the Jets. For my picks, I'm going Seahawks over the Colts, just like you, Dante. I'm going with the 49ers over the Titans. And then my underdog, I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals at home against the Baltimore Ravens, partly because I need Joe Burrow in the fantasy football playoffs. Those are our picks. Let's shift gears from NFL. The Mariners making some moves.
Yes.
The Mariners. They got Josh Naylor done early, and then or was it right before the winter meetings? They trade top prospect Harry Ford, who's been the topic of trade conversations for a while, along with minor league reliever Isaac Leone for left-handed reliever Jose Ferrer from the Washington Nationals. Ferrer, 25 years old. He's his sinker in the upper 90s. Nasty changeup, great slider. Didn't throw it as much in Washington as he probably will here, given the trends with our pitching staff. But Dante, what'd you make of the move? Pretty big deal in trading Harry Ford.
Pretty big deal. But I first blush, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't want to give up on Harry Ford so soon. I thought you can kind of have him as the backup catcher. You got rid of Garver. I thought that laid the path for Ford to be on the big league team and at least spell Cal Raleigh. When he wanted days, you wanted him to DH. Now I've heard that Cal Raleigh was going to get more rest days in this upcoming season. They wanted to rest him more or have him play DH and less catcher. So I thought it was the perfect spot for a young prospect like Harry Ford, a young promising prospect, to fill in that role. But, they got the reliever they wanted. By all accounts, they said, hey, the Mariners need that reliever. They got their guy. He's young. He throws the same pitches that the Mariners kind of focus on. So I'm looking forward to see what kind of player he is.
Yeah, personally, I think I really like the fit, specifically with the player they got in Jose Ferrer. And Justin Hollander said that when they were mapping out the offseason and looking to add a leverage arm, Jose Ferrer was the guy that they wanted. The numbers did not really stand out with Washington last year. His expected ERA is a lot better than what his actual ERA is, but taking over in the closer role for the Nationals at the end of last season, Ferrer was very, very good. And they need another lefty leverage arm. We remember how gassed Gabe Spire was last season. I think they needed another leverage arm in general just to deepen this bullpen. So I really like the player that they got in Jose Ferrer, and just the stuff is absolutely incredible. It, reminds me of, and this might scare some people, Gregory Santos a little bit. If he can stay on the mound, man, this guy is going to be really good in the back end of this bullpen. He's going to slot right in there. Now, as far as giving up Harry Ford, I see a lot of people talking about, they a little disappointed that that's all you got for Harry Ford, a reliever, right? Sure, but you look at the timing. It's not like they didn't try to trade Harry Ford and they were just prospect hoarding him. Maybe a few years ago early on in his tenure. But they literally tried to give him to the Twins for Jhoan Duran, and the Twins liked the Phillies offer better, even though the Mariners felt like they had a better offer on the table. So, you look at an alternate universe where the Twins share the Mariners prospect rankings and their evaluations, and you have Jhoan Duran in the back end of your bullpen, and you got him for Harry Ford. It's unfortunate that deal didn't work out, but I feel like you needed to trade him at this time because, with Harry Ford's fit on this roster, he's not going to play every day. And, that's only going to make his value decrease. You're not going to move him to left field because then he's not catching and he doesn't have as much value. So if you were going to maximize Harry Ford's value after the trade deadline, you needed to give him up. And, maybe you could have gotten more from him, but how many times over the last 5 years of this front office were, fans complaining, all they say is, we tried. We were in on this many guys, and we were in on Marcus Semien, but it was too many years, or we were in on this trade, but we couldn't. There were a lot of deals that we couldn't push across.
Yes,
they went out and they got this done, and it took Harry Ford, but at this stage in the game where you are at with your franchise in this window to compete, you need to add players to your big league roster that make you better. Big leaguers. And you got rid of a player who it's not going to make your big league roster worse.
Yes.
Harry Ford was not really going to be that big of a factor this year. You get a really big piece in the back end of your bullpen, 25 years old, 4 years of club control. Yes. So I really like the deal personally.
Yes, and I like the idea of the deal. I said I hate to give up Harry Ford. I still feel that way, but the idea I absolutely love because we've talked about it ad nauseum over the last few months. This is uncharacteristic for the Mariners. They don't make moves like this. Now it seems like they do make moves like this. They're going for it. They're trying to bolster their big league roster with big leaguers. This is a World Series team. That's what they expect. They're upping the standard. Per se, so I like the idea that they're going for it. They're making those moves, whether it work out or not. That's the story for another day. The fact that they're going for it and they're trying to bolster their roster with actually, qualified players already that's been at the big leagues, that have the stats, that have the pitches, I love it. So this is a new day in Mariner history, I would say. The fact that they're making moves like this, and if you're a fan of the Mariners, you have to love it. Because like you said, how many deals have they said they've been in where they couldn't, complete the deal? So the fact that they did make the deal, I love it. And I just wanted to go ahead from On the Sidelines podcast and give a congratulations to Jerry DiPoto, who was just named, Executive of the Year from Baseball America. He made the moves possible, and he has this team going in the absolute right direction, and you love to see it. Justin Hollander, I'm sure he was part of that also. The Mariners, this is looking up, and right now, all I can hear, I said it earlier, I can hear Mike Tomlin in my head. The standard is the standard. And right now they're setting the standard, and that is a championship.
Well, and Jerry DiPoto's not done. You still got more work to do. He said he still wants to add one more impact bat, presumably on the infield at second base. Let's go through some options. I would love to know, Dante, out of these, I've got three options that are sort of being discussed.
Sit, Frank.
Yeah.
Where we going?
a little bit. Jorge Polanco is the obvious fit. Bringing him back, switch hitter, would be in the middle of your lineup. The word right now is that the contract he would get at age 32, heading into 33, he'd be paying for ages 33, 34, 35 on a 3-year deal. It'd be 3 years, $15 million per year, which is only slightly below what Josh Naylor got as a 28-year-old. The other option, so it's not cheap to get Jorge Polanco. There are suitors for him. The other option, Ketel Marte has been brought up, one of the best second basemen in the entire league. I mean, he's a certified superstar. I mean, the guy is just absolutely incredible. It's going to take a huge package, though, to get him away from the Diamondbacks. A Juan Soto type package. Major league ready pitching. People are saying George Kirby or Bryce Miller to start off a deal. You're throwing in 2 to 3 huge top 100 prospects as well. Does a Cade Anderson get thrown in there? Does a Laz Montez get thrown in there? That type of big package. Then the other option, Brendan Donovan, the St. Louis Cardinals. He's not Ketel Marte's level, but His OPS is above 800, and he's not a big home run guy. He's doing it with contact, very low strikeout rate. He's got doubles power. Perfect fit at the top of the Mariners lineup who are looking for a leadoff hitter, right? That's also going to cost probably throwing in Bryce Miller, you throwing in Cade Anderson, a major league ready type pitcher to get a guy like that. Which option looks the most attractive to you?
Although I would hate to give as much money to Jorge Polanco, I would say that's the option that's most attractive to me. I just railed about making the moves and giving up the prospects and getting big leaguers.
Maybe not this one.
But Martel, too expensive. Okay, Marte, I'm sorry, too expensive.
Too rich for your blood?
Yeah, too rich for my Jorge, he's been here before. I mean, he's a cult hero right now. He's earned the right to run it back, okay? He's earned that right to run it back. I think you go with Polanco. I do think that's kind of expensive, 15 years for a player his age and his production, to be perfectly honest. I mean, we run it back to 2 seasons ago. He got ran out of town. He was a last-minute addition this year, and that's probably one of the reasons Jerry DiPoto got Executive of the Year, bringing him back at basically a bargain basement price. So he wants his money right now, and I understand that, but he wouldn't cost you prospects. And he has that chemistry with the team, and he's earned the right to run it back. I want Polanco back at second base, and it gives you the opportunity to play some of young players, a Cole Young, a Colt Emerson. It gives you the chance to still develop some of those younger players because Polanco should not be playing every day. So I think you bring Polanco back because of the makeup of the team and his place on that team.
Yeah, I lean Polanco. I still really like Ketel Marte, and I don't know what it's going to take to get him.
Kirby, though?
Man.
When you talk Kirby, I'm like, no. It's a no deal. It's a non-starter.
If you can get that down to centering a deal around Bryce Miller.
Yes.
I'm
heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, man, but I also don't really want to get rid of Bryce Miller.
No.
No. It's tough, but you got to give up something to get something, right? And also, the money that Ketel Marte is making is way below market value. I mean, he's making be about $20 million a year for the next 5 years. Kyle Schwarber just signed for $30 million to pay him through his age 38 season. Yes. So I mean, Ketel Marte, the money is not really a factor there. It's really just the prospect capital, and you have the prospects to get it done. And even if you give up 2 to 3 top 100 prospects, you still have like 5 top 100 prospects in the bank to go out and get more guys or to develop and see what they are at the big league level. So it would hurt. It would really hurt to go and get Ketel Marte. But if you went and got Ketel Marte, and then you could supplement a Bryce Miller or a George Kirby, and this turns into a discussion of, are you going to re-sign George Kirby?
Yes.
Because if you're not, this feels like a really good time to max out his value and get something in return for him. Pitchers are a lot more likely to sign here in Seattle in free agency than hitters are. So, if you can sort of, do musical chairs that way a little bit, trade Kirby to go and get your hitter, and then you can go into free agency. And, there's a couple of pitchers out of Japan that could be options as well. That seems like a good option. Brendan Donovan, man, he would be such a good fit at the top of this Mariners lineup, because you need the leadoff guy. Randy Arozarena is not it, the leadoff spot. I'm sorry,
Okay.
like that. That's just not.
No Randy.
That's just not for me. Not for me. I'm perfectly fine with him.
In the lineup,
right behind Josh Naylor in the 5 spot or behind Polanco at the 6 spot. But you need a leadoff. You need a leadoff hitter. I think Brendan Donovan would be perfect for that. I think Polanco, because he only costs money, is number 1, but 1B just right below that. Swing big for Ketel Marte. I think it could be a good option.
You go for Marte.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Big spender there.
Swing big.
Hey.
I think they can re-sign Logan Gilbert. I don't know if they can re-sign George Kirby. As long as if you're doing Kirby plus 2 top 100 guys, not 3, that's a lot more. Man, that's just
It's too rich for my blood.
That's
Ethan.
a lot, man.
It's too rich. I mean,
that's a lot.
The fact, if you are going to give up Kirby or Bryce Miller, the one thing I do like about that is the fact you're sending them to the National League. You know? The only time they'll come back to bite you is in the World Series. So that's a good problem to have, other than some interleague play games. But the starting pitching has been the strength of this team for, the last 5-6 years, and it continues to be. I don't think you take away from the strength of your team. You're trying to get stronger, and giving up a Kirby who may be your ace. He started game 1, I believe. Yeah. So you're giving up your ace right now, and I don't think you can do that. So Polanco, come on back.
Yeah. Hopefully they can get a deal done. I mean, if he signs elsewhere, you got to pivot.
Yes.
So, and that's just going to drive the price up, right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Leverage-wise.
No, I think it's fair. It's a good argument to have.
And there's other options that wouldn't cost as much as Ketel Marte or Brendan Donovan. But when you have the farm system that the Mariners have with this window of opportunity that you have as well, you got to swing a little bit. And it's not like you're not going all in, right? Like you're not giving up the entire farm system. So, I think it's something you got to look up. You don't have all these top 100 guys to see them all come up to the big leagues.
Yes.
At some point, you got to swing for the guys that are surefire things. You can tell Marte is just about as surefire as you got.
Right, and you mentioned the window. The window is wide open right now, and you have to go through it if you're the Mariners. The crowd, the Mariner fans, they're tired of waiting. Yeah. So I don't want to hear about, we got guys coming up in the next 3, 4, or 5 years. So in that sense, you're right. It's time to go ahead and give up something to get something, and hopefully the Mariners can make it to the World Series next season.
Well, and that's, to go back to the Harry Ford trade, that's one of the reasons that it sort of makes sense to me.
Yes.
It's because Harry Ford is not going to be the Harry Ford that he's projected to be this next season or the year after that. It's going to take 3 to 5 years for him to get his feet wet. How long did it take Cal Raleigh to get comfortable in the big leagues?
And you're right.
You can't wait that long.
And I thought before the acquisition of Josh Naylor, my argument on this podcast was, hey, why isn't Ford at first base? Because there was no room for him at catcher. You have Cal Raleigh.
But his value goes down. That's the problem.
But he could still be a player for the Mariners. I'm not saying for trade value. I'm just saying if he wanted to get on the field. But now with the acquisition of Naylor, that is no longer an option. You're not going to put this guy at first base, so the deal makes sense. Dealing Harry Ford. So I think he just got kind of squeezed out with Cal Raleigh having a historic season, the acquisition of Naylor. Where do you put this prospect? Totally. So you trade him for one of your biggest needs, which was a reliever. So I think it's a good trade. I would have loved to keep him, but hey, it takes money to make money.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, more moves to come for the Mariners offseason. We're going to be covering it. Let's switch gears. The World Cup draw. The World Cup groups are set. It's coming here to Seattle.
Well, kind of, sort of, because that FIFA playoff or the UEFA over
Fair
there,
enough.
That's kind of scary. It's like who are they going to have? Who's going to be in it? In that group. So
let's look at the group. You got Paraguay. The U.S. will open against them on June 12th in Los Angeles. The 38th ranked team in the world. U.S. is number 14 in the world. You got Australia. That's going to be here in Seattle at Lumen Field on Juneteenth. That's going to be a crazy day. Kickoff at noon. Australia, number 26 in the world. At the moment, they are the second highest ranked team in the world in this group. But that could change. You've got the European playoff, that group of 4 teams. You got Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo, I believe. Turkey, 22nd ranked team in the world. So that's your pot 4 team, supposedly the weakest team in the group. They could end up being the second strongest team in the group, but you do end up missing, top European teams, Croatia. You're missing Morocco. You're missing top team in pot 3 in Norway and Erling Haaland, arguably the best team in the world. So I feel like they made it out pretty well with this draw.
Yes, I think they did the USA a favor with this pod, is what they're calling it. USA should win this
Yes.
group. And if they don't, it's a huge disappointment. And I don't want to hear anything else about USA Soccer for a long time if they can't get out of this group. For years, we've been hearing them crying about they don't have the support. They don't have the players. Can they get out of this group? Can they make World Cup? All of those things have been in question. Now you have a yellow brick road to the next round right here, which looks like all you have to do is win the games. So they're expected to win, and they need to win.
You need to win this group, and
Yes.
I'm not breaking any news here. It makes
Right.
the knockout round a lot easier, your path, if you can win, specifically because you have the opportunity to win. It's not 2022 when England was in your group, and that's it. Just they just got too much firepower.
Right.
You can actually go out and win this thing. You can win all 3 games. You don't need to win the group, but you're going to be favored in all 3 of these games.
They should win this group.
They should.
And a lot of people talking about, they scared to say it and say this is not an easy group. Come on now. We all see it.
Well, it's
I
funny.
know you don't want to put it out
funny.
there in the ether because those guys are on scholarship too. USA has to win this group. They just have to. It's no other option other than to win this group. And if you want to gain that momentum and you finally have the World Cup here in the USA and you're going to have Lumen Field on Juneteenth just rocking. I mean, we're off that day. Most people are off that day, not us.
I'll be
not in
working.
this business.
I will be
Not in
working.
this business, but most people are off that day. So you'll have a full house rocking. I can't say it enough. You have to win this group. It's no excuses right now. You have your road paved to the knockout round.
It's funny. It's funny. You talk about this being an easy group. I think it's absolutely a winnable group for the United States. But funny enough, when you go up and you add up all the FIFA rankings for the 4 teams and average it out, it's the 4th hardest group in the entire World Cup out of the 12. Which it's more of a well-rounded group than a top-heavy. Like Argentina is up there in the top 5, but their group is pretty easy. They're just so high because Argentina is so highly ranked at number 2 in the world. But you've got the best team in the world, or the best team in the group at number 14 with the U.S., but then you don't have a team below 38. So all the teams are in the top 40.
All of them are solid.
Yeah, all of them are solid. So you don't have Curacao in the group at number the smallest country ever to make the World Cup in here or anything like that.
How Curacao catches a stray?
Man, they're the lowest ranked team in the thing.
Yeah.
Come on. But I wanted to talk about expectations because you need to win this. You need to win this group. Point blank. Period. But, this group is talking about trying to go further than the U.S. has ever gone. And if you take out the 1930s when they made it to the semifinals, completely different format and all that stuff, less teams, the farthest the U.S. has gone was in 2002 when they made it to the quarterfinals. And that would mean winning 2 groups or knockout stage matches in this format, largest field ever with 48 teams in the World Cup. Let's talk about the path to get there. If you win the group, you're playing a 3rd place team in the round of 32. You need to win that game. You would then meet Belgium likely in the round of 16. They're past their golden age. Kevin De Bruyne used to be one of the best teams in the world at Manchester, or one of the best players in the world at Man City. He's off playing in Italy right now. He's still a good player, but I mean he's in his late 30s. They had this golden age. They're sort of in their twilight era. Think of the national team when Clint Dempsey, Michael Bradley, Josie Altidore were at the end of their era. Obviously, at a much higher stage in Belgium, obviously.
Right.
But that is a winnable game to get to the quarterfinals. If you get second place in your group, the road gets a lot harder. Now, I will say if you win your group, get to the quarterfinals, that game's probably Spain, the best team in the world with Lamine Yamal, the best player in the world at age 18. That's probably their ceiling. I cannot see the U.S. getting past the quarter.
No.
Let's be realistic. I mean, it would take a miracle on ice type performance for the U.S. to go out and beat Spain. That is how good Spain is.
You on U.S. soil, so the stage is set right now for an upset, a historic moment
and that's one of the reasons that you need to go out and win your group. You need to set yourself up for the knockout stage to put yourself in a position to where you can get that far and even give yourself an opportunity to try to just grit your way through Spain, force it to penalties, get lucky. Something like that has to happen for the U.S. to make it past the quarterfinals. If you get second in your group, you're going to run into Argentina in the round of 16. Lionel Messi, number 2 team in the entire world, and they got more than just Messi on that Argentina team.
Oh, yes.
That's another game where that's a miracle on ice type performance.
You don't want that smoke.
No, you don't want that. Point blank period. Too long didn't read. Win your group, and you are set up well for this knockout stage. It's going to take a lot to beat Belgium. I'm not saying they're just going to skate by them, but you can beat that Belgium team. It is absolutely possible, and this group stage is setting up really well for the U.S. to put themselves in a really good position to make it to the farthest they've ever gotten in the World Cup since 2002, ever really in 100 years.
Yes.
Pretty cool stuff.
And we need that. USA. And right here on Fox.
Right here on Fox. You can see it right here in Seattle.
Ethan will be covering it. Yeah.
I'll be covering it. Yeah, it'll be pretty cool. See the world. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Yes.
You got anything else, D-Jack?
No, that's it. Just follow us on Instagram. Yep. Make sure you check us out on YouTube and subscribe. Download the Fox Local app and check us out if you want the visuals.
Yep, that's all we got. For D-Jack, Dante Jackson, I'm Ethan McReynolds. We'll see you next time on The Sidelines.
Let's go!
On the Sidelines is available wherever you get your podcast.